Hello and welcome to my review of Jaghatai Khan, the Primarch of the White Scars Legion for the Horus Heresy from Forge World. Now, he will cost you £84 and consists of 26 resin components, a 40mm sculpted base and a 60mm diorama base, of which the 40mm base fits. He is my 5th Primarch in the Primarch series, so I'm slowly but surely making my way through all of them. He's not the most expensive, but he's certainly the second most expensive. The most expensive being Sanguinius, Lionel Johnson and Magnus the Red. All three of those at £89. Then it's Jaghatai Khan at £84. Then Rogel Dawn at £83, along with Alfarius, and then they just get cheaper and cheaper. But long are the days when you could pick up a Primarch for, you know, 50 something pounds. They're long gone. The cheapest Primarch now is Ferrus Manus at £63. There are of course 18 available Primarchs. This was the last and final Primarch for Forge World to release. Valdor is Primarch in all but name. I wonder if we will get a Malcador model and an Emperor model, even if they don't decide to put any rules with them. So the format of this review is I will look at all of the detail of the Khan. I'll go through his build, then I'll look at the spare parts, of which there are none. There are 0 spare parts with this one. What you see is what you get. Then I'll go through some size comparisons, first with a few of the other Primarchs, then with some Horus Heresy miniatures, then with my usual 3 suspects, and finally at the end of the review I will go through all of his Horus Heresy rules. First things first, he does come in one of these Horus Heresy character boxes. It's quite a deep box as well. You get 2 plastic blister packs in there with the parts protected. You get this little instruction guide, which, yeah, it does an alright job, but it's certainly you know, no Magnus instruction guide or Sanguinius instruction guide. For a model this expensive, I would always expect a bigger guide than what we get here. But luckily the model isn't too difficult to put together. But like all Primarchs, they have this, you know, 1 or 2 features that could be a bit tricky. If you were watching the unboxing and if you were watching me build him in the live stream, you will have noticed that he didn't come supplied with his left hand. I emailed Forge World and they sent me out a replacement straight away. You know, I had that within a couple of days. So this is what you pay for. Yes, it's expensive, you know, don't get me wrong, but you know, when you do have any issues, they rectify them. They rectify them very, very fast. So let's have a look at the model himself. I have not glued a few things on here. So this Death Guard I've not glued on because I want to paint him separate, get around, you know, all the nooks and crannies and things, and which is a little bit unlike me because, you know, I've glued all the Night Lords onto the Lionel Johnson's base, but he just sits on there quite comfortably, and when the time comes I can then just glue him. You kind of do have to glue him though. You don't really get an option not to have him on because, you know, there's just an arm and a power plant there and then chips in the scenery. I guess you could green stuff those if you didn't want a full dead body on there, but you know, it is part of the model. You can already see there as well my white tack. Just don't buy white tack, guys. Just get blue tack or something equivalent, because white tack's just, yeah, not very good. I've tried to hold the cape in place. Again, it's one of these capes like the Lion, which isn't glued on. I want to keep it separate and paint it separate because it's going to be so much easier to get all the detail and, you know, to hold it while I'm painting that. There's lots of detail. Speaking of which, I have magnetized the base, and I do this for all of the Primarchs. So if we just take this off, I've put a magnet there. One is really all you need. You could you know, go full throttle and possibly put a magnet I don't really see where you could maybe fit one in there, but yeah, I've gone for this one magnet, and it just slots on there and it keeps him nice and steady, and I do that with like Magnus and the other Primarchs. But his 40mm slots into the 60mm like so. Yeah, we'll have a look at the detail. Now that I've got his cape off, we'll just look at his cape first of all. I love these patterns, very Mongolian Empire themes I'm getting from here, you know, East Asia. It's lovely. I really like the style. You know, there are you know, cues from like samurai and, you know, 13th 14th centuries. It's just fantastic. So you get some of these detailing parts here, some of the icons. You've got the moon, and then you've got what looks to be a lightning bolt there. There's the lightning bolt, and there, if you've collected White Scars before, you know what to expect. So that cape will eventually go on there, but let's just leave that off for a moment while we look at the rest of the detail and just, you know, drink that detail in. It's just absolutely stunning, the amount of detail on here. You just would not get this with plastic. There's so much depth, and this is the same with all the other Primarchs. They've done such an incredible job. But you've got like buckles on the armour, you've got motifs, you've got these faces with the spikes. No, you don't have to glue those spikes in like you did for Magnus. I think throughout the whole of the Primarch process, that they've really tweaked the way they make them, so that now you're getting, this was one of the easier Primarchs that I've made. You know, the only issue I had was with this sort of rounded sword. It had, you know, the tip had changed a little bit, but that was very easily rectified. You've got his head there. It may look a little bit different than what you're expecting, or what the previous artwork has shown, but I think it's fine. You've got the sheath, which, yeah, I mean, you know, once you see it, you can't unsee it. It looks a bit too small to fit the whole blade in, but maybe it only fits a certain amount in. You've got these samurai armor panels. Put it in the comments what they are actually called, but you've got some tassets either side, as well as these. You've got his pistol, quite an ornate pistol, not the best. You know, it's no lantern, is it? And then you've got all of these icons and tassels and cloak things, and, you know, you've even got these, and his gloves look awesome. I mean, there's just so much detail on this mini. And then you've got his top knot hair, and the sword itself is, yeah, fantastic. Absolutely lovely. So that's Khan. Let's have a look at his base. I mean, this is the Death Guard. Give you a bit of a close-up there. The Death Guard. He's got his sort of intestines spooled out, and his hand at a strange angle. So he's been thrown about. Nice looking mini though. And then you've got the base which he sits on. This was annoying me throughout the whole of the build process. I'm not even sure it's needed. They could have got away with that completely blocked without the cable showing. Guess it adds a bit more 3D to it. You've got some skulls on the base. You've got you know, rocks. You've got this ironwork. Maybe it's reinforced concrete. You've got some pipes coming out of the base as well. Not the most intricate base, but still there's a few things going on there. So there you go. That is the base and the model himself. Let's do some size comparisons now with some other Primarchs. So let's see if we can pop his cloak on. The cape probably will come off while I'm shooting this, but I'm just going to leave it off. So if we compare him to the largest Primarch, I would say, which is Magnus. Magnus is his tallest. You know, Magnus is absolutely huge. Magnus is still taller than Khan with his sword raised, you know, his actual body, but then again he's on a much higher base. If we can kind of like show you that without, yeah, he's still Primarch size, but Magnus is a fair bit bigger. then compared to, I don't know, like the Lion. I've just taken his power plant off for a moment, but if we just compare them there, they're not too dissimilar, their poses and what they're doing there. I think fairly evenly sized. I'd probably say the Lion is just a little bit taller. Might be to do with the pose though. You've got Sanguinius, which is on this massive base. You've got Sanguinius, which, although is on the same size base as the Lion, it's you got Sanguinius, which I think is on the same size base as the Khan, but in a much different pose there. Similar sort of size. It's Magnus that is the real big boy out of all these, and then you've got Lorgar, which, yeah, I mean, compared to Lorgar is quite small. Lorgar was one of their first Primarchs. I mean, the Khan is definitely taller than Lorgar there, if you want to look at it that way. But you know, we're comparing like when did Lorgar come out? Like what, 10 years ago or so? About that. Quite a while ago now. You know, look how far we've come. Anyway, that was a little bit of a Primarch showcase for everyone. That's one of the reasons why you probably turned up to this review. Of course, you know, as I delve into the other Primarchs, I will be including more in the size comparisons and things. We've yet to review Magnus. Not sure why, but I think his review will be coming out in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned to that. I just wanted to get the Khans out of the way with, but I'm really happy the way Magnus turned out. Absolutely lovely mini. So other size comparisons then, I do have a few Praetors with me, some Ultramarine Praetors. So there's one in Terminator armour, and here's a normal one. I mean, you can kind of judge the size of the Primarch with just the normal Space Marine, really. Space Marine probably go just a little bit past waist height on the Primarch. I mean, yeah, compared to there, just a little bit higher than waist, isn't he? Not quite up to chest height, but that's a normal Praetor. The Terminator, again, almost chest height with the shoulder pauldrons and things. So that's where he measures up. Let's just give you some comparisons with some 40k minis, my usual suspects that I use, which are right here. So we've got a Primaris on the right, a standard Space Marine on the left, and then Sly Marbo. So standard Space Marine, again, just past waist height. Primaris though, yeah, I'd say chest height now for Primaris. Sly Marbo is very small, probably waist height for a normal sort of human sized. I say normal, you know what I mean, like, you know, like a 6 foot you know, human character, I guess, barely up to the waist. So that's a good little size comparison there. So that's a good. So that, hopefully that gives you some idea of the sizes involved. Okay, so this is my part of the review where I will go through all of the rules for Jaghatai Khan for your games in Horus Heresy. So you'll find his rules in the Horus Heresy Book 8, Malevolence. He is, of course, a Lord of War choice, and it will cost you 395 points. Back then, they didn't have a miniature for him, so in brackets they put the Khan afoot, which I guess this one is. I do wonder if they would ever release a second version of him for 100 something, you know, on a jet bike. I don't know, but yeah, they've actually got two different rule sets for him too. So the Khan afoot is a weapon skill 7, ballistic skill 6, strength 6, toughness 6, 6 wounds, initiative 8, 6 attacks, leadership 10, and of course a save of 2+. The difference with him being mounted is if he's mounted, his toughness goes up to 7 and his initiative drops though to a 7. Okay. War gear, while he's afoot, he's got the Wildfire Panoply, the White Tiger Dao, or Dao, I want to call it a Dao, Archaeotech pistol and frag grenades. While he's mounted, he just gets a Sojutsu pattern void bike. So when he's afoot, his special rules: he's a Primarch, which includes independent character, eternal warrior, fear, adamantium will, fleet, fearless, it will not die, master of the Legion, precision strike, precision shot, Sigh of the White Scars, crusader, the Bleak Wind, lightning from blue skies, and bulky. While he's mounted, he gets all of those, but he also gets unmatched rider and extremely bulky. The Khan afoot may be replaced with the Khan mounted for an extra 65 points, so then you're looking at 460 points. So let's just go through some of his special rules then. He's got the Sire of the White Scars. In the first turn of any combat, Jaghatai Khan always strikes first, before any other models, but after Hammer of Wrath. If any other model also automatically strikes first, then use the two models' initiative values to decide which of them will strike first, should the two meet in combat. When Jaghatai Khan is included as part of an army, all friendly models with the Legiones, Astartes, White Scars special rule that are also part of the army gain the Scout special rule. The Bleak Wind. Jaghatai Khan and any unit with the Legiones, Astartes, White Scars special rule that he joins gains the Hit and Run special rule. Lightning from blue skies. When held in reserve, do not roll for Jaghatai Khan or any unit he is considered to be part of while in reserve. Instead, the controlling player should note down the turn on which Jaghatai Khan and any unit he has joined will arrive on the table before the battle begins. In brackets, this may not be the first turn, but may be any other turn. He cannot elect to stay in reserve. Similarly, when the Khan arrives on the table by means of the outflank special rule, do not roll for the table edge that he arrives on. Instead, the controlling player should note down before the battle begins which table edge the Khan and any accompanying unit will arrive from. The White Tiger Dao. The White Tiger Dao, it's a ranged weapon, it's a melee weapon, it's a melee +1, strength of the user, AP 2, melee, duelist's edge, and master crafted. The Wildfire Panoply. Fashioned to be as aesthetically pleasing as it was impregnable, the Kagan's armour perfectly complemented his fast and uncompromising style of warfare and bore a number of unique systems to improve his already unmatched reflexes. The Wildfire Panoply provides a 2+ armour save and a 5+ invulnerable save during the shooting phase and a 3+ invulnerable save during the assault phase, including when targeted by Overwatch attacks. In addition, it grants the Khan the move through cover special rule. Now it goes on to the jet bike, which we don't have, whether if or we will ever get it, but the Sojutsu pattern void bike, I'll just go through the rules anyway. Jaghatai Khan retains a specially engineered version of this prototype vehicle for his own use. Its enhanced thrusters capable of carrying the Primarch into battle with a swiftness equal to the lesser mounts used by other warriors of his legion. It increases his toughness by +1, which is already incorporated into his mounted profile, and changes his unit type to jet bike character. The jet bike is armed with 2 master-crafted heavy bolters, and when the Khan mounted makes a Hammer of Wrath attack, he inflicts D3 hits instead of 1. Unmatched rider. Jaghatai Khan automatically passes dangerous terrain tests, and when jinking receives a 3+ jink cover save. Other cover saves are unaffected. So there you go. Pretty nice Primarch. You know, his White Tiger Dao, you've got that melee +1 and strength of the user. In the first turn, you're getting a strength +1, so that's strength 7. But then after that, you've got a strength of 6. AP 2, obviously, duelist's edge and mastercrafted, very good. You know, he's got that weapon skill 7. He's got a decent number of attacks with a 6. He's got his save of 2+, and he's got his 3+ invulnerable during the assault phase. The Bleak Wind is nice because you get the hit and run special rule. He's the sire of the White Scars, so he's always gonna be striking first in combat, unless the other Primarch or the other unit has that, and then it's initiative order. And with initiative 8, he's going to be in a good standing to do that. It's great that you can pick the table edge in which he arrives, and you pick the turn in which he arrives as well. I would have liked another special rule for them other than just the hit and run, unique to him. But other than that, I think he's pretty fantastic. What do you guys think of the model and the rules? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. And I know that we're getting Commander as this massive, like, huge bloodthirster character coming for Horus Heresy, but what other like Space Marine character would you like to see Forge World create, other than like them? And that does include like the Emperor Malkador and others. Please do put your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. As always, it'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor protects.